Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade!
Welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade with your hosts, Joy Marie Mann and Josh Radio Hedge, a podcast where we discuss the dystopian hellscape of capitalism that we call home. Hey, everybody, Josh Radio Hedge here.
And Joy Marie Mann.
Welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade.
So we have inadvertently been doing songs every week. So today I am going to start this off with a cult of personality.
That's very appropriate.
So fitting. Oh my God.
Yeah. A joyful cult. A cult just brimming with excitement.
Yeah, start leaving my name out of it, Kamala. Like, seriously, stop. I hate my name. I always have, and now you're making me hate it even more.
I still think that you should take the clip of Oprah at the DNC and make it like your ringtone. So every time somebody calls you, it's like, God. Joy!
Yeah, there's this one clip that I always talk about when it comes to Oprah. And it's, you know how she has that best friend, Gail?
Oh, yes.
And she's like, they go to this fair, and she goes, deep fried butter. Apparently, they deep fried butter sticks. Like, I don't even know what that is.
No. That's like a number one part of campaigning in the Iowa caucus, is you have to go to Iowa and eat fried butter on a stick. It's one of the most hilarious traditions.
I campaigned in Iowa for almost 6 weeks, and I never went to a fair.
No one gave you fried butter on a stick? God, that is a crime.
No. And you know what? It doesn't. That's why we need Medicare for all, because people eat shit like that, and then they wind up having heart issues.
Well, if you only eat it during fair time, you'll be okay. But, you know, I know some people that would probably eat it every day if they could. So I guess that's the thing.
Deep fried butter.
No, thank you, Oprah. No, thank you. I honestly, every time I watch the little like clip shows of all the candidates running in the primaries and they're all eating the deep fried butter, nothing makes me more nauseous. I'm just like, why? Why?
Nothing makes me more nauseous than watching Pete Buttigieg eat anything.
It's kind of like watching a sewer rat attack a slice of pizza. It's almost heartwarming and disgusting in equal measure. It's beautiful.
You can tell he's an imperialist just by the way he eats chicken.
I know. He gets his elbows out like he's about to battle off dudes in the prison lunch house. Like, don't touch my cornbread. Like,
he gets these beady eyes like, yo, I'm tearing into this shit. Oh my God.
Oh man, maybe the CIA lunchroom was tougher than we realized for poor Pete.
Oh shit, that's true. You know he got picked on.
Oh man,
he got called a weasel all the time. You know he did.
Dude, I'm sure like every day at lunch somebody was like, "Look at him, he looks like an actual rat," and everybody's just losing it. He's like, "Oh God, one day I'll be president." He thinks.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they just don't tell him congratulations for November already, and we can just end this shit and move the fuck on.
Yeah, man.
So we have a couple of heavy topics, of course. So, but, you know, just a forewarning, YouTube all of a sudden the past few months has tried to censor my show very heavily. I have gotten a strike. 3 strikes mean they take your channel down permanently. I've done a show almost 8 years. I've never had this happen until I started talking about Palestine regularly. So we are going to have to like say certain words because we're not allowed to say certain words because gay freedom of speech. So you're gonna have to bear with us. But you
For
know,
example, if we're going to use the K word or the M word or the D word to describe what's happening to people in Palestine, we're going to have to change it. So today we're going to refer to it as they were Israelied.
I like that. I mean, I think we should use it that for that, regardless. I mean, it's fitting.
So another school was, Israelied today. A number of people were Israelied in this Israeling of a school today in Gaza. I just wanted to mention that up front.
I saw a little girl who was roller skating was Israeli.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, it's really hard to absorb. I guess so. We got to dive in. We got to talk about what I thought was maybe the most important topic of today. Netanyahu's house of cards is currently collapsing. And let us also take a moment to acknowledge the date. It is the 333rd day of this genocide. This is a special date, so I don't know. I guess this needs to be addressed today.
Why is, I mean, when I hear 333, I always make the joke, that's like me, I'm half evil. What does 333 embody? Like, what is that symbolic for?
I mean, okay, so in a number of more esoteric spiritual views, like 333 is like a holy number because 3, of course, represents the Trinity, which is something that exists outside of Christian mythology. I shouldn't say mythology, but I did. And all the other various religions. And yeah, I think it's also just considered a lucky number because whenever numbers come in threes, people think of, slot machines, and I think it has that kind of a connotation. But I'm with the holy meaning of it. Like usually when there's a number that you notice that you take meaning in, it stops you to actually think about and consider your connection to whatever you feel like you're witnessing. I think that's the deeper thought of it.
Okay. I am very hesitant to say things such as his house of cards is beginning to collapse because I am trying to be realistic in the sense that, Israel has been, without, any kind of, they've been allowed to do absolutely anything for decades. And not only have they been allowed to do it, they have suffered zero consequences whatsoever. And I don't see that happening anytime soon, because there's still how many people around here that are bending over backwards to bootlick them and defend them. They've always been invincible, always. And I don't see that changing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of wild how much power this one little far right nation that is currently at war with everyone. And so what I mean is they're not only at war with the people in Gaza, they're also now spreading. They've declared the West Bank is now the second war zone. They're now destroying all of the streets, the infrastructure. They're bulldozing all the shop fronts to devastate these people's way of living. I mean, this is happening like today. And again, these are war crimes. The United States know that these are war crimes. We literally have multiple international bodies and multiple NGOs to verify that these are war crimes. And yet we act like we don't even know what you're talking about. What war crime? What are you talking? There are allies, bro. What? It's so vile to.
And they attacked the Houthis again today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but the thing that gets me out of everything that I just can't help but think about, I think a lot of us are desensitized to this, but let's really think about this. This all is happening. It is all interconnected, okay? But every single thing comes back to the United States. Everything.
Yep.
So if Biden and Kamala were not providing weapons and money to Israel, this genocide would have ended in November. That is a fact. Israel themselves have acknowledged that. This has only continued because of us. Furthermore, all of these protests that these, shit libs are so incensed by, well, I'm sorry, but guess what? Your girl's part of the reason why these protests are necessary. All of the other countries who are stepping up to condemn Israel, that is also because of our crimes as Americans. Everything comes back to us. Everything.
Yeah.
As Americans, we need to own up to that. We need to say, yeah, you know what? We've been in the streets every fucking day for 11 months, but still, it's our country who is doing all of this. And, I cannot fathom being Kamala and having such hubris and such just sanctimony and self-righteousness that I would not care that people were just begging me, literally begging me to do something.
Yeah, anything.
I just cannot fathom the amount of power. People are like, oh, she's just a candidate. Oh, she's just a VP. Let me tell you something. You like to act like she has no power. Well, she's either a girl boss or she's not, okay? And one of the capable of is telling Joe Biden, hey, we're done. We're not sending any more money. We're not sending any more weapons. We need to do an arms embargo, blah, blah, blah. She's saying none of it. She's actually come out and said, I won't do anything any different than Biden is doing, and I don't support an arms embargo. She has literally said these things. Stop trying to get us to vote for her. No.
Yep. It's funny you said that about how everyone is just like, well, she doesn't have any power. I literally today, somebody posted a picture of Kamala with a giant number 47 behind her. And I said, fun math, if you divide the number of kids killed in Palestine by the number of days that they've been slaughtered by the IDF in Palestine, it comes out to 47. I mean, just some fun math. I just wanted to point out. And immediately people are like, oh yeah, when did Kamala become president? And it's like, y'all, she is the vice president of the most powerful nation on earth. And yet simultaneously, she has no power whatsoever to do or say anything to stop a live stream genocide. How is this possible? How can you both be in this high position of power and have no power simultaneously?
And you know what? Guess what? If this was happening under Trump, J.D. Vance would have had all the power in the world to stop it. How could he not stop it? Who is he? J.D. Vance is running for president. He's not even stopping the genocide. Is that selective outrage bullshit? She has not even said the words stop. She hasn't even said it. Even if you want to play that, oh, she doesn't have any power.
First of all, hold on, Joy. She advocates for a 4-week ceasefire followed immediately by more bombings. So that's something.
That's true.
Right?
That is true. But the boom booms do have, rainbows and stuff on them. So
yeah, they're
queen.
Exactly. These are girl bombs, man. These are the real deal. This is women taking back their power, concentrating it into a small piece of shaped explosive, and then Israeling a whole section of Gaza.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the other thing that we're going to talk about is UK came out today and said, okay, so we've been reviewing things and we have found that there are international war crimes being committed by Israel. So,
you said the UK actually admitted that?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that part. That's awesome.
Well, no, it's really not, because they then decided that they are only going to stop sending 30 kinds of their ammo, and they have over 300 kinds that they send. So great, cool. He made statements about how the reason they are deciding to take away these 30 kinds is because through their research, they have found that those directly have unalived Palestinians, and they feel it is likely that they will again. So I guess the 300 something extra just haven't been proven to be
Yeah.
the direct cause.
Okay.
So
basically, Britain calls up Netanyahu, and they're like, "Oh, hello there, Netanyahu. How's it going? I just want you to know that you need to tear the first 2 pages of your giant war catalog out and just pitch them in the fire. But the rest of the bombs you can still have." And that might have been more Australian than British. I'm not sure.
Well, no, I understood what you're saying. And, I think when I was talking to Netanyahu last, I told him, you got to be careful with what you send where. We need to be able to make sense of this. You know what I mean?
What we need is airtight, irrefutable proof that we didn't commit this genocide, even though we may have funded it, armed it, and run international cover for it. So what we are creating is a bubble of shielding from reality and accountability. I don't know, how's it going so far? Is it working? Have we been called to the Hague yet?
It's been working because, President Biden said that if anyone dare arrest you, that they'll send in their troops themselves to protect you from having it happen.
Well, that sounds right fantastic. Let's totally sack the Hague is what we should do. I mean, Israeli the Hague.
I have a question for you, BB. Why is it that you were raised in the US and you have such a weird German accent?
And what's up with you changing your name, mate? You had a pretty normal Wisconsin-y sounding name, and then suddenly you don't. It's kind of weird.
Do not mess with me. That was a bad Netanyahu, but that's all I got.
Is that what that was? I thought you were like doing like some sort of like Darth Vader impersonation.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Well, that just means that you knew it too. So in your heart.
So we did, one of the pretty rad things is in UK there are these people who have just put red paint all over fucking everything. I mean, banks, business places, government places, just red paint by the gallons.
Even in my hometown here in Ashland, where I'm living now, Oregon, there was a protest, and there's still like blood like in the street that like has stained the street from the protest. And every time I drive by it, it's just like, it's good to know that like people are still trying to, stand up everywhere.
Hell yeah. But also, we wanted to talk about the fact that there are over 700,000 Israelis protesting in Tel Aviv against Netanyahu.
Incredible.
Now, absolutely incredible. Now, there's different ways you can look at this. You can say, okay, but they still don't agree with Palestinians. Yes, that is correct. They still don't feel that they deserve to be on that land. Yes, that is correct. But to me, if we get an immediate and permanent ceasefire, I don't give a flying fuck what their reasons are for getting in the street. I can tell you that right now. I don't give a fuck. I just want it to happen. But the other thing is, the the good thing about that as well is they are blaming Netanyahu for the 6 hostages getting unalived the other day. And that's huge, because what that means is they are acknowledging the fact that he has continued to shut down a ceasefire agreement. He himself has turned it down over and over and over. So they're saying, look, this is on you. You may not have been the one who physically did it this time, but you're responsible, because you could have taken this ceasefire deal time and time again.
I mean, there's so many deals that go all the way back, like the earliest one being on October 9th. They made a proposal, like, if you don't invade Gaza, we will return all the hostages.
Exactly.
And guess how that worked out?
Yep. Exactly. And, one of the parents of one of the hostages even said, you know what, this is bullshit. They were offered a ceasefire deal. They said no. And because of that, my child is at risk. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if I was a parent, I'd feel the same fucking way. Like, what do you mean you're turning it down? Fuck you, dude. Stop turning it down. What's your problem?
Well, and then they had a bunch of leaks that came out just in the last few days, and one of them was showing that Netanyahu did turn. First he agreed. You remember back when it was either the first or the second time Blinken said that they finally got Netanyahu to agree to a ceasefire deal, and then Hamas said, "Okay, yeah, we also agree to this deal." And then suddenly it's like, "Oh no, Netanyahu no longer agrees to the deal. He now says he wants a bunch of insane extra caveats and for it not to be a ceasefire, thus defeating the entire purpose of the agreement, which is a ceasefire deal."
And here's the real kicker. You want to know something you may not know?
Please.
There's a ceasefire going on right now. They're just not abiding by it.
Yeah,
and
I know.
The reason there's one happening right now is because of the 1 million jabs they sent over. So we got to be very careful the way we say this, because my other episode got taken down because of it. So they sent the World Health Organization sent over 1 million polio jabs.
No, I'm sorry, Marco Polo jabs. They're Marco Polo jabs.
And they, but, don't worry, Zionists. Don't get upset that they're helping them. They're not. It actually paralyzes you and can lead to death. So don't worry. And because of that, Israel is under order to have a ceasefire as these are being distributed. Well, we all know from the past 24 hours, there certainly has been no ceasefire.
None.
So even if they do a ceasefire and they give back hostages, okay, the 51 or whatever there is, does that mean they're really going to stick to it? Of course. Come on. We know this isn't about hostages. We know it's not. If it was, it would have ended 11 months ago.
Wait. Are you trying to say that this didn't start on October 7th?
Well, I mean, yeah, it did. Definitely. As far as my sources say.
Yeah, I watch American media, and as far as I know, there's been nothing but peace and joy and happy hand-holding up until October 7th. So,
I mean, that's what CNN said.
I mean, why would CNN lie? What possible reason could they have to lie?
It's my mom, she's 80. And she'll listen to what I tell her, you know what I mean? She's not like, "Oh my God, no, blah, blah, blah." But she doesn't have internet or a cell phone or anything. And, I'll tell her some stuff and she'll go, "Well, I didn't see that on CNN." And I'm like, "Mom, how many times do I have to fucking tell you? Mom."
It's like, "Mom, it's Plato's cave wall. It's you're just catching the shadow puppet theater. This isn't what's really going on."
Seriously, I'm just like, she's like, well, why wouldn't they say it? Again, they're bought. Dun dun
Yep.
dun. Like, how
It's
many times
literally
have
their
you
job to not say it. That's why they were hired.
Exactly. But it's like, in some ways, I'm kind of envious because she's never had a cell phone. She's never had internet, like, ever in her life.
So
I'm
she
kind of
doesn't have
envious.
brain poison like the rest of us?
Exactly.
Wow.
She doesn't have the knowledge, but she doesn't have the anxiety either.
She doesn't have the free ADHD hyperdrive max that everyone now has installed in their operating system.
Right, like she doesn't have 120 tabs open in her brain 24/7 like we do.
120, that's nothing.
Yeah, I'm being generous. It's more like 1,200.
Help, I'm swimming in thoughts that I can't control.
Mine is like, sometimes I have like a penguin playing violins,
Nice.
as one of my thoughts. And then like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to find our demise in the next like 24 hours or something.
But whenever I have that thought, I just turn to my friend Squiddy the captain, who is a squid wearing an eye patch, and I say, Squiddy, things are going to be okay. I live in an alternate reality. I don't know if I told you that. Bernie's president here.
Oh God. About that before, but
me and my partner, I told her I wouldn't talk about her much, but I'm going to talk about her this once. One time we went on a vacation, and it was after Bernie got like knifed in the back the second time, and we were just so bummed. And so we decided to do what all the Democrats and Republicans have been doing for years, and we chose to live our weekend in a alternate reality bubble where Bernie won. And so just all weekend long, we just kept pretending. And we were like, hey, isn't it great that everybody has health care now? Hey, isn't it great that we're finally like pulling out of all the endless wars and proxy wars? And hey, but we now know that probably wouldn't have worked out as much as we'd hoped.
No, unfortunately, it certainly would not.
God, it took Bernie like 6 months into this freaking thing in Israel for him to finally be like, okay, it's kind of bad. And it's like, yeah, no shit, Bernie.
Yeah,
welcome
and
to the party.
He still pushes back on the G word.
Oh, I know. Is that just Jisraeli side? What's the word?
Genocide?
No, don't say it. So you have to use a new word. This is YouTube. We can't speak.
No, I'm saying genocide. They can suck my dick.
Oh my god. Can we say that too?
I don't care. YouTube, eat a bag of dicks. I don't fucking care. It's not enough I have to censor myself at all.
Hey, YouTube, if on the way home tonight you should happen upon a bowl of dicks, eat them.
Eat them, bitch. Eat them.
Eat them.
Eat them, big old bag of dicks.
We should definitely clip this part out of the show, just to be safe. My God.
I'm putting this on my TikTok. Just that. Hey, YouTube, you want to censor me? You can eat a big old bag of dicks without lube. Enjoy it. Swallow it up.
I'm just glad we live in this era of no longer giving any fucks so that we could say that. It's just a shame we can't talk about the W word, which is when different armies do the thing with the boom booms. But God,
and not boom booms as in a coitus, like that.
No, definitely not those boom booms. No, we meant the other boom booms, the fire boom booms, the dropped from boom booms. Yes. This is the best we can do now, folks. This is what censorship has reduced us to. We're just going to start like doing a show that's all in charades, and you, the audience, can figure out what the hell we're talking about.
And we need like one of those like, button keyboard things that can just be like, or like, and just make
I thought you were going to say like one of those button boards that they have for dogs, and you hit a button, it's like, wow, another button. Go to park, treats, please.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Eat a bag of dicks. Oh my word. Well, on this note, let's get to the next one because I was heated. And last night I did like a 45-minute show just about cursing AOC out.
I watched, and I raged along with you. It was painful. I still can't believe that we all have just come to accept that this woman, and again, she's like damn near middle-aged woman now. She's on TikTok.
She's like 30-something.
That's what I'm saying. And she's on TikTok, laying on her bed, hanging upside down, acting like she's 12 and being like, hey, everybody, I'm going to tell some spicy tea spilling time. Hey. And it's like, no.
She goes, okay, guys, I'm not anyone in particular, but this is going to be spicy. So you, I'm talking to you. And then she points to this person that nobody's ever heard of with this very real account that she just happened to run and see and like is suddenly going to respond to.
Yeah. Oh man, so gross.
So for people who live under a rock and don't know what we're talking about, she had the audacity to come for Jill Stein. Now, me and Josh go way back with Jill Stein, and we don't fuck with this shit. Like, first of all, and it's not even if you support Jill Stein, it's the fact that if you support third party at all, or even support democracy, and even our anti-establishment, like, there are a million reasons you should be heated by the shit AOC was putting out. And she had the fucking audacity to say that Jill Stein is predatory.
Oh man, my blood was instantly boiling. Woo!
Like, and then she was like, first of all, she lied. She doesn't know half the shit she said. She said Greens have no seats, which is a blatant lie. They have over 1,200 seats across the country. Just because they're not president or, Congress or something, they still hold seats. And second of all, she was like, Jill ran for president 12 years in a row. So obviously she's not making any change. She didn't fucking run 12 years in a row, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't know her actual presidential history. I thought that was kind of interesting. She knows everything about the Green Party and simultaneously nothing about the Green Party. That's kind of lame.
And then she's like, oh, but you guys haven't even accomplished anything. Look, Jill Stein's campaign is owed over $270,000 fucking dollars. They are above a certain percentage in the poll, which means that they are due to be matched funds. Now, that's always been the case. She's due to have matched funds. $270,000 was due to her over 2 months ago. Guess why she hasn't gotten it? It's this little animal called the DNC.
Oops.
So, yeah, that's so democratic. Furthermore, she goes from state to state having to fucking fight this shit in court because they challenge the fucking signatures to get her on ballots and shit like that. So, I mean, how, hey, AOC, how effective is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but and this is the thing that gets me. It's not just AOC. It's a whole hideous machine. Like, since that stupid post from AOC, there's been all these very grassroots attacks on Jill Stein appearing on a bunch of different forums. I was on Reddit, and there was like a photo, no, it was a GIF of that Rita character from Power Rangers, the witch lady, and it said Jill Stein every 4 years, and it's the witch lady coming out of nowhere, and it's like, what is this crap? Like, why is there 22,000 likes on a thing that Jill Stein is a witch that shows up every 4 years? Like, this is crazy. This is the kind of thing that I would expect to hear from Republicans. Republicans would just smear a woman and call her a witch and say that she's like worthless and crazy. Right?
Well, yeah, and also like it's another example of how they don't do research. Jill is an activist.
Yep.
You don't take a fucking break from activism. This is not an every 4 years thing. That's
it's
not what this is,
bro.
This is the lifestyle, yo. What you talking about? It's crazy. It is so crazy. And frankly, it's easier if they don't look up these things because they don't want to know. It helps, it helps their cause if they don't know. So being like, oh, she comes out every 4 years. Oh, okay, you really want to do that? Look at your girl Kamala coming out in 4 years talking about all this shit that she promised the first time. You really want to go there? Okay, and then you're going to say Jill ran 3 times, 12 years in a row. Well, first of all, that's a lie. But let's just say it was true. AOC, I remember quite well, endorsed Biden the 3rd and 4th time he ran.
Yep.
3rd and 4th time. So how the flaming fuck is that any different?
Well, if Democrats didn't have hypocrisy, they'd have nothing.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I was genuinely smashed on the rocks by just how nasty AOC's comments were, because it's like, I get that it's your job to sheepdog the left. I get it. I get that that's the role that you're taking on. You've been handed your assignment by the Wizard of Oz or whatever, and you've taken it on. Good for you. But damn it, we don't deserve to have like actual activist people that we respect, people that we look up to, and you to just openly smear and attack them simply because they're participating in American democracy. It's so vicious. I don't know if you're willing to jump to the next thing in this very same conversation, but I wanted to give a little bit of Jill Stein's response. Do you care if I read a little quote?
Yeah, go for it. She fucking slayed as usual.
Absolutely. I just included the first part because I thought it was just pretty apt. It was a great response. So Jill says, I just wanted to thank AOC Pelosi very much for her authentic concern. Clearly, AOC is the attack dog du jour, and the Democrats are running scared, and they should be, because who wants to vote for a genocide? If there is anything that's predatory here, it's saying that your candidate is working tirelessly for a ceasefire, when actually they are funding and arming a genocide and refusing to even consider an embargo, which would bring that genocide to a screeching halt. I mean, she just put it perfect. That's it.
Boom.
Like how could you call Jill predatory when you're literally the one like laundering a genocide?
And for me, I didn't even take it that way, but that was a really good point for her. The way I took it was, okay, you're calling Jill predatory. That means you're calling me prey because I stand with Jill. So when you're calling us prey, those of us who are free thinkers, who are holding politicians accountable, who know we deserve better, who don't fall in line, who don't care about vibes, those of us who actually want a platform, we want issues covered, we want tangibles, to call us prey when the real fucking prey is the cult of the Democrats, the ones who will do and say anything if they are told to.
They will flip on a dime. On a dime.
Exactly. That's predatory. That's them preying on people who say vote blue no matter who. You are prey, dude. You're the fucking prey.
Think about that. They've got these blue no matter who folks. They now have them supporting xenophobia through the border wall, through more money to ICE, through more border policies, but no path to citizenship. Even Reagan, who we all consider one of history's greatest monsters, even Reagan offered immigrants a path to citizenship, but not Kamala, because she cares about xenophobia. And she got all the blue no matter who's to just flip sides on this. I still can't believe it. It's like it was not a hard fight to stand up for people's rights to exist and treat them like human beings. And the Democratic Party's like, it's a losing issue. Throw the brown people under the wheels.
Well, let's see how that goes at the debate on Tuesday. Let's see, because Kamala is going to have two choices. She's either going to lie or she's going to lie. Because they're going to
How well will she lie?
Yeah, exactly. But will she lie point A or point B? Let's see. Yeah. I will be in Philly at the debate, protesting my ass off. I'll be doing some filming.
I was about to ask if you're going to be inside, and then I remembered the rules say no gallery at all, no viewers of the debate.
Really?
Yeah, no audience.
It's not surprising, but that's funny.
Yeah.
So how do they get? So nobody in the audience asks questions. It's just.
Yeah. So the whole concept is now, hey, we can't trust that our audience won't protest these monsters for their literal role in the genocide. So we can no longer allow audiences at American debates because they just can't trust these Americans. I mean, they love Hamas so much. My God.
I still haven't gotten any paychecks. Have you?
I actually have been writing emails to Georgie every week, and he doesn't return my emails anymore. I think he's ghosting me. Like, I'm kind of sad.
Soros, if you are watching, you owe me like 8 fucking years, okay?
And Georgie, if you're watching, you took something from me that I can never have returned, and you took a little piece of my heart too. Come back to me, Georgie.
Aww. Gosh, just nothing without you, Georgie.
Aww. Man.
I know. Man, we are in a cluster motherfuck.
Indeed. But there's good things too. Like I said, I found Jill Stein's response to AOC. I thought that was wonderful. Like calling Pelosi to her face. Wonderful. Like, addressed it right to her. It's like, thank you. Call her out.
And Butch, the VP, Butch Ware, he's a fucking king. Everything he says, I'm like, yep. Oh, man. I just love him so much. I really do. He's just awesome. So, I mean, honestly, all she did, like, I literally am going to vote for Jill even harder now. So thank you, AOC. And you know what? That was the worst person she could have fucking picked on. Like, literally the worst.
I want to add this to the conversation. Guys, if you think that this is vile and you think that this kind of behavior of just like openly smearing and attacking people in an American democracy, if you find that to be a gross tactic and below the Democratic Party, then you should donate a little money to Jill Stein's campaign. Show her that that this is the kind of shit that won't be tolerated. Don't just throw more money at Kamala so that these people keep that's what's predatory. Like literally attacking people for participating in their democracy and smearing them to your audience of millions. That is predatory. And now we're watching the ripples as everybody's like, oh, it's open season on Jill Stein because she checks my notes, ran for a president in a democracy. Oops. I guess she deserves to be dragged by everybody.
And I'm so over people saying like, you're voting for Trump because thing is, she never fucking had my vote. Kamala, she never fucking had it. Jill didn't take it. Jill, it's not like, oh, Jill's taking my vote, and if Jill wasn't in the picture, I'd be voting for Kamala. No, I'd be writing someone's ass in.
I gotta tell you, I want to give a little credit to the DNC. I mean, they successfully brainwashed millions into believing this absolute canard, this total bald-faced lie, that a vote for anyone that isn't your candidate is somehow a vote for the other candidate you were voting against. That is not how voting has ever worked in the history of voting. Because again, fun newsflash to everybody, Kamala doesn't own my vote. My vote is not owned by anyone, not by Kamala, not by Trump, not by Jill Stein. Nobody owns my vote. Everyone gets the opportunity to earn my vote. And what Jill Stein has to say about genocide, she earned my vote. You know?
Exactly.
Simple as that. About the environment, she earned my vote. You know, where's Kamala Harris on earning my vote on the environment? You know, oh, she's basically drill baby drill 2.0. Great. You know, when asked, hey, in the middle of a climate catastrophe, should we, you know, maybe stop drilling the hell out of our planet and, you know, killing our entire atmosphere? And she's like, nah, I'm not into that anymore. But you were 4 years ago. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, okay, well, guess what? Guess who does want to ban fracking? Jill fucking Stein. She has my vote.
Exactly.
Because she earned it.
You know, it's mind-blowing the way that they also don't understand how math works. You know, you got Gary fucking Johnson, who's got a million bajillion more votes than Jill. He's not the culprit. You know, you got Jill because she's a woman, and shame on us for voting for a woman, unless it's Hillary. You got all this shit, and it's like, all y'all have complained about for years is the fact that Electoral College, she had the popular vote. What in the fuck have you done about the Electoral College? Because I haven't seen any of you saying shit. So you know what? Think about it. Jill Stein's votes didn't cause a damn thing. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I just
should be one person, one vote. Electoral politics should not even, Electoral College should not exist. Yes, I hate Hillary, and I would have never voted for her if my life depended on it. But if this was a democracy, yes,
she would have won.
Would have won. And I support democracy, whether it goes my way or it doesn't.
Not me. I'm going to storm the Capitol, and I'm going to film myself doing it. Yeah. Hey, check out my giant Confederate flag. I'm using it to beat a police. Oh, I'm sorry, Israeli police officer.
Oh my God. I can't. And by the way, don't be saying you're ACAB and then promote Kamala because hello, you don't make sense.
No. It's now scab. Some cops are bastards. Kamala's great though.
Well, she is a scab.
Yeah.
She came out yesterday talking about unions, and she said when union wages goes up, everybody's wages goes up. And I'm like, okay, well, I seem to remember you running on 15 an hour, which is still garbage, but go with me here. She ran on 15 an hour. Then she was literally the deciding vote.
Yeah,
on her first week, she was elected. She was a deciding vote on whether 15 an hour would get passed, and she said nay. And
she
now
sank her own initiative.
Yes. And now she's trying to say, oh, wages, and thank a union member and this and that. Oh my God! And then
I remember some very loud complaining about some parliamentarian. I remember that.
Oh yeah, the word nobody knew of until right.
Well, I loved how even like the press was pretty immediately able to be like, well, yeah, but didn't the same thing happen under George Bush? And George Bush just fired the parliamentarian and appointed a new one that would do what he wanted. And it's like, well, yeah, that's weird. It's weird how the Democrats don't. Weird.
Well, you know what's funny? You know how Joe Manchin was everyone's like, you know, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema were like the two devils from everyone in Democrats. They were like, oh my God, Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema. Well, Joe Manchin, funny story, he was able to be who he was because Kamala Harris represented him and defended him during the housing crisis when he made a bunch of people go homeless and made bank. She was his representation. She's the one that got him off the hook. So when people are like, Joe Manchin, I'm like, you have Kamala to thank for
that. Oh my God, Joe. God. I was really hoping that he would run for president. I just wanted the chaos. I was like, go for it. Go for it, you giant, like, yacht, like, owning piece of shit. Please, please, put your hat in the ring. I want to watch you suck votes away from Biden. Do it. I thought it'd be hilarious, but no. They talked him out of it.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe they offered him a cabinet position because, we need more backstabbing centrists, in the halls of power. It's like Kamala's all like, hey, I'm going to get a Republican. I'm going to put him in my cabinet. Great. Are you going to put any leftists in your cabinet? She's just like walks away. Kamala, where are you going?
Well, that's the other thing. We have heard from Dems for years. Republicans are Satan. They are Hitler. They are disgusting. They are the most evil of evil. They're a monolith, and they are.
Which is why we have to reach across the aisle.
Yes, and that's why I fully support Republicans for Kamala.
Oh, it's so stupid.
We are getting down to that hour, so we are going to have to name the Grand Marshal. It sounds very racist. That's why I like it. The Grand Marshal of the Capitol Death Parade. Okay.
The Capitalist Death Parade, yes.
The Capitalist Death Parade. Yeah, I know the name of our show. Yeah. I totally do.
give Joy a break. She was having a Biden moment. It's okay.
Well, I'm picking AOC because I hate talking about her. I can't stand it, but sometimes you just have to. And she can just walk right off that cliff.
She can do a spicy little walk with the whole parade behind her right off.
She can take those jalapenos and she can just toss them in the air as she goes right off that cliff. And she can make them extra salty. You go, girl.
I'm with you. I think AOC officially is the Grand Marshal of this week's Capitalist Death Parade. Thank you, AOC, for once again leading an army of young, idealistic leftists off a cliff into the jaws of doom. We appreciate you.
And thank you for making our movement that much stronger, because I'll tell you one thing, not only did you make us Jill supporters that much more fervent to vote for her, you actually even turned some people who were wavering about voting for Kamala to vote for Jill. So thank you.
It's vile politics. It's vile politics, and people recognize it in their gut. You feel that pit in your stomach when you see people doing nasty stuff like this, and you're like, I expect this from Trump. Now I get it from AOC.
Mr. Furley said, yup.
Mr. Furley is done with this show. Mr. Furley is over it.
Done. He's done. He's literally deaf, but he's done. He knows when I'm talking about people he's not supposed to like.
Yeah, he's been trained from birth to bite AOC's ankles. So.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Subscribe to my YouTube and my TikTok and my Substack. Josh?
Hey, you can find me on Twitch on the Rip and Rant. And please just come say hi, visit me. I live in Oregon, I'll make you some tea. We'll have some biscuits, whatever.
Yeah, you did that on purpose.
Yeah, I did. I was setting you up, Joy. I set you up.
It's the goodness of the biscuit. It's that honey sauce.
I absolutely do it. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Guys. Much love.
All right, and I'm Josh Radiohead.
And I am Joy Marie Mann.
We'll see you guys next week on the Capitalist Death Parade.